Okay, that was a semi-improvised prelude. Semi meaning that I had a chord sequence in my head. Improvised in that I was doing different arpeggios than I might normally do. You know, there's lots of different ways of arpeggiating your way through these chords. And it's simple because it's just arpeggios. But there were some advanced harmony things in there, so we'll have a look at it. And what I'm hoping is that that some of you players out there, like me, are maybe not really 100% familiar with the notes on the fretboard, because we read tablature. My ear is telling me it's tonics and dominants and interrupted cadences, whatever. But I'm a bit embarrassed. I don't know. If somebody said, play me a second inverse in C-sharp minor chord, you know, what's that? Whereas on any other instrument I play, you know, on a guitar or on a Renaissance tuned lute, no problem. So I want to get to that position on the D minor tuned lute. And so I'm going to be teaching myself, with my knowledge of harmony and my appreciation of the repertoire, teach myself how to improvise preludes, maybe read figured bass, continual playing. And I think I'll have a much more rounded confidence in playing the music if I know this stuff. So I want you to come with me, and we'll do the most basic prelude of all. All you need is a tonic and a dominant, and make sure at the end you go dominant tonic. Now, so that in the key of D is D major. The dominant note, all you do is, chord, all you do is count up 5 up the scale, D, E, F sharp, G, A. We need an A chord and a 7th and an A7. I bring us back to D. So here's a D chord, 4th string, 1st fret. And my right hand is on courses 5, 4, 3, 2. Just one note. If I move that note to the 1st string, and my right hand's now on 5, 3, 2, 1, I've got 2 D major chords. I can do one here, which is frets 4, 4, and 5. And here frets 9, 7, 9. All with a D bass. I could go down an octave. So I've got 3 chords, 1, 2, and this one, the 3. Now we have to be careful with this one because it's got 2 major thirds in it. I tend to, unless I'm playing a big loud chord, I tend to do either this one or this one, with the right hand moving between them. But it's still the same chord. And so we can do it, just jam on D major for a while. A nice run you can do here. And then the 2nd string open, 3rd string open, and the F sharp and D. Nice D major arpeggio. So the next chord was A major. Well, that contains the notes A, C sharp, E. So here's the A, C sharp, and E. So that's frets 4, 2, 4. And I'll have an A bass this time, 6th course. I could add this note here, it's another A. If I'm doing A7, there's my root A. To get a 7th, you go down 2 frets. There's the 7th. So I'll do the rest of it as my A chord, and then the 7th. Take the pinky off, get the 7th. And 7ths have to be resolved correctly. So that 7th has to go down a fret to the F sharp that's up the top of the D chord. So you get... And then here, when I'm doing this A chord, the 7th is on the 4th string, it resolves to this F sharp. So make sure when you're going from A7th to D that you resolve your 7ths correctly. And that's all we need for a prelude. So here's a very simple prelude. Now, it's serviceable as a prelude. It satisfies all the criteria you need. That is, you need a tonic chord and a 5/1 cadence at the end. And we're just introducing the key for the music that's to come. So even if you're just learning one piece in D major, work out a prelude, do it. It's fun, it's not that hard. You just get the two chords and make up an arpeggio. Later on you can do more advanced stuff on these chords, but it's good to get the basic chords down. Okay, when I did my prelude at the beginning, I did something on the A chord, which I love to do. I've got A major with an A on the 4th course. Now if you raise that particular note, a semitone, and do an A7 on top, you get what sounds like a diminished 7th chord. But calling it as such doesn't tell us what its function is. And then we go to B minor. Now, if this is B minor, we got there via, it must have been a dominant chord. Let's forget diminished 7ths for a minute. The dominant of B minor is F sharp 7. Now, we have this note, which is the A sharp, C sharp, and an E. Now these three notes are in F sharp 7, so we want an F sharp on top, but it's not, it's a G. Now compared to an F sharp 7 chord, that G is what we call a flat 9, so this is actually a dominant 7 flat 9 chord. Yes, it sounds and tastes like a diminished 7th, but it's functioning as a dominant 7th, an F sharp 7 flat 9 to D minor, B minor. Now why would I want to go to B minor? Well, I want to reinforce this dominant chord as if we've changed key to A major. So we have chord 2, chord 5, which is E7, which is the 5th course, fret 2, fret 3, fret 2, fret 2. We could have fret 3. I'm just going to keep it on the inner strings. Add a D, which could be an open string, but I'm going to use this 5th fret on the 3rd string. Remember, that's the 7th now, E7th. And 7ths have to be resolved correctly. It goes down a fret into the A chord. Now we're in A major, and I've got an A in the bass. I'm going to keep that as a dominant pedal for a while. A pedal means that you have the same note in the bass in this instance, but chords above it change. So they're going to change. A, A7, now D major, but still with the A in the bass. D minor, you don't expect that coming. And I picked up that phrase from the internet. It's called modal interchange. I'm sure Weiss and Bach didn't use that name for it, but it's just turning a major chord into a minor chord or a minor into major. It often happens with chord 2 in a 2-5-1. Instead of being B minor, it could have been B major, E7th, A. But here we're taking the tonic chord with the dominant bass, modal interchange, and then to do the final cadence, I've got an A chord, but I'm adding a D on top, which is a sus4. Resolved into the chord, then the 7th, and finally D. So that's what I was using. It's a more advanced harmonic framework. But this is the thing, you know, you have a chord sequence in your head. You can just play if you know a number of different chords, you can do arpeggios between those shapes, add them together, and change to a new chord, do things on that chord that you know you can do, and then you go back. Now, it's like home, away from home, home. That's all a prelude is. And in my more advanced version, I went further away from home, got a little bit scared, didn't know where I was, and then came home. And it was more relaxed when I got home. This is what a prelude does. Bach does it all the time. So, I don't know if you got anything out of that. If you're a lute player and a Baroque lute player who would like to be able to improvise preludes, let me know. And as I'm exploring it, I could make more of these videos. If no one cares about it, then fine. I don't mind. I'm still doing it. It's good fun. And hopefully I'll have improvised preludes in some of my videos later. Any questions? Just make a comment below the video, or this will eventually be a blog post on my website, which is baroque-lute, baroquelute.art. ART, I couldn't resist the .art. There we go. Bye.